Let's see. It's good news. High Command replied. High Command, or rather, one of the guys there. Some guy at High Command. Some guy at Security Center replied. Other entrances been hit hard. There have been casualties. We are spread very thin. I guess we could hold this place with less people if we needed to. Gators replied, which got a nervous look. Handle. Gators in. That long corridor, or it was a kill zone, was a killing ground. Kill zone? It was a kill zone for anyone coming in into this the big room. There was no cover for them. If they could, even a smoke grenade probably wouldn't help much. Of course, if they did get some tank men and some tank men and a few, or some urban tankette would change things. I'm looking for it was a kill zone for anything. 10 5-meter. It sucks out there today. All rainy looking. I guess they're gonna be rain later, maybe. Hope I don't have any packages coming. That's unnecessary. That's unnecessary. High Command replied. High Command. The security guy. I replied. Sealing up the entrances. Various entrances. In the main hangar room. Room will soon be secured. That will give us a lot less ground to cover. Free up men here and there. Where's Handle? Handle. What's Handler doing? It isn't even a handler, it's Handle. Let's see. I forgot what this guy's name is. Wow. This must be what Alzheimer's feels like. Is his name Peters? Peters. Oh, there's a guy named Peterson. Yeah, but... And there's another guy named Peters who's dead, unfortunately for him. Peters said the place is secured. Yeah, there's doubt that anybody was just going to be twiddling their thumbs and sitting around after all the doors plugged up. Yeah, just imagine he wasn't going to get any sleep till this was all over. I just wondered if he could survive that. He had rarely been sleep deprived in his life, except when his sister was going through some health scare. Rescued by the Vietnamese man. The Vietnamese man isn't here. Not yet, anyway. Garrett got off the horn and told his comrades what was up. It wasn't long before he got another beep on the radio. Change of plans. The security guy noted. Then asked, "Are your men equipped with gas mask, NBC protection?" Yetters was doubting the guy he was talking to was military. It was probably some security guard. They are taking some minor little post over, so a military guy could handle something more important. No. No. Yetters replied. Being asked about gas masks and NBC gear was always a nerve. Made Yetters a little uneasy. He imagined anybody else in his shoes would have been too. Well, let's go send your men to get masks, at least. Or at least the security man replied. And we're planning on releasing experimental dangerous gas into the underground. That sounded swell to Yetters. For some reason, they always try to change swell to swelling when I use it. Maybe I should stop using it. I don't know. To me, swell is just like, just a common American kind of thing to say. It was like he was told that he was. It was like he was in a big cage and someone called to tell him they were throwing a hungry pride of lions in with him. Let's see, dark corridor. Dark corridor, that sounds like one of those Kindle trilogies. Let's see. I skipped the energy drink today, folks. Am I doing well without it? What the hell for? Yetters asked frankly. Area denialment to the enemy. The security man replied. Defilement. Apparently area denial to the enemy. I thought denialment was a term, but apparently not, though. area denial to the enemy. We gassed it all up that place, and nobody will be able to get through it. And that will seal off, free up even more men. Great, Getters thought. Soon you'll have so many men, you won't know what to do with them. Yep, I can't help but give character stuff to even boring characters. Not that I consider Getters boring, but sometimes when I mean a character be boring, I accidentally give him a lot of personality. When it comes to fictional characters, the more personality the better, you know? It makes them feel more like real people. Of course, even the most developed fictional character, they're not much next to a real person. Let's see, yeah, that's the sad thing about fiction, you know? You can never do enough to make a character. Even three-dimensional characters, still probably not enough. There's so many men, you won't know what to do with them all. This gas. Will the mass protect us? Getters asked. For a time, security man replied. You'll have to pull back. Pull back. And you start to feel the impact. I think I need more details. Getters muttered. Could you then ask? Could you put somebody, some scientist or something on? Some scientist on? Why send some men to fetch mass and so on? Of course, security man replied. At Chernobyl, the people weren't allowed to ask questions. Get out there and do shoveling on the roof. The radiation's gonna get you. Radiation seems like one of those things that's both simple and hard to explain because it's quite dangerous, you know? People understand it's dangerous, but most people don't know why. It like cooks your cells when you get radiation sickness, you know? And if it cooks too many of your cells, well, you're dead. Security man, of course. I sent some men to fetch mass, of course, security man. Getter's got the skinny on the experimental gas from someone who sounded like they knew what they were about. The gas was an experiment. The gas was some experimental, was not part of the security system. Let's see, here's just the gas was not part of the security system. It was some dangerous byproduct of coolant, of some new coolant of a new type of coolant. The gas caused hallucinations, paralysis, suffocation, hallucinations, deregulation of bodily functions, including internal temperature. It's really nasty stuff. Apparently, the first symptom of really nasty stuff, and the U.S. Army was looking into ways of spreading it, of dispersing it. They're seeing it against the enemy, Camjaw Click. It apparently it was under study here, with sizable quantities in storage, being handled carefully, so it would flood in the present. The scientists and engineers figured out a way to disperse it through the underground, and they were going about that right now. Anyone affected by the gas would be overcome quickly and suffer from poisoning for some time afterwards, even after a minor dose. What you have to look out for is feelings of sleepiness, dizziness, and dry mouth. The science guy on the line said, the science guy is telling me what's what. Science should be explained in a fun and interesting way, I guess. I've had dry mouth all day. Yeah, there's muttered. With the interior mouth. Felt a bit like sandpaper in there at the moment. So is this a nerve agent? The others asked, speaking a lot calmer. And he expected he would. A lot calmer than he expected he would. We're talking about deadly gas. Deadly gas. Speaking like calmer than he expected he would when talking about deadly gas. No, not a nerve agent. The science guy reassured. You gotta get there and save those people. Bill Nye is trapped in that facility. If he goes, well, I don't know. It'd be a shame to lose it. It'd be a shame for this world to lose smart people, since we seem to have a critical shortage of them these days. I'm kind of glad that there's so many smart people. Like, I mean, well, why wouldn't I be glad? But there actually is a lot more smart people around than I thought there was. Scientists and doctors and so on. No, nerve agent. Is it like Ditcha? Yes. Ditcha gas cap. Hitters asked. Hitters knew one whiff of that stuff, and you'd be done. You'd be done in about 5 seconds. Not an antidote on Earth could save you. Not a thing on Earth. Earth could save your life. Let's see. What was it else? Nerve gas was the nastiest gas. Nastiest gas. Virus. Nastiest sort of gas. Since it targeted the brain. Brain directly. Nerve gas, let's see. There's a lot of talk of that in the Cold War, using that instead of nuclear weapons against the Soviets and so on. Still a weapon of mass destruction and still contaminates places, you know. I don't think there was ever any talk on the Soviet side. I think from the start they were always planning on using nuclear weapons to secure Europe. And I'm not sure, you know, chemical weapons, secondary thing, maybe take out important targets and other stuff. I mean, if you could stealthily knock out a whole base with nerve gas, or take a town like that with that, you know, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do the most dastardly thing possible? I mean, if nuclear weapons are used right out of the gate, then, well, people will be more worried about that than nerve gas, I guess. Well, they should be worried about all of it, because it's all pretty horrible stuff. Theirs was no expert on nerve gas, though he had been briefed about it when he joined the army. There was a lot of NBC training here and there, right? Because of fears. There were legitimate fears that the Volgan Union was sitting on quite a chemical weapons stockpile that they probably use right out of the gate in the event of World War V. They were considered a less outrageous thing than nukes. Weapon than nukes. Nukes. Yeah, I was imagine nukes would be thrown early in World War V. Early and hard. So people probably won't be too worried about nerve gas for long. Yep, their stockpile made from German jade and their own stuff, you know. The Soviets were proud. They liked to make their own shit when they could. You know, they made the AK-47 instead of using the Nazi assault rifle after World War II. And they made their own nuclear weapons and nuclear reactors and stuff, though some of that stuff didn't work out too well for them. Because that was one thing from the Chernobyl show. They were right. The Soviets were pathologically afraid of being humiliated in the West. That's why they worked so hard to silence dissidents and prevent people from fleeing their countries, to tell the world the truth about the terrible stuff that was going on there. Let's see. But I digress. Yetters goes nuts with an assault rifle. No, he doesn't have to go nuts yet. No, not Ditcha. The science guy reassured. Prolonged exposure. Prolonged exposure is quite lethal, but a minor exposure will result in discomfort and result in sickness and discomfort that will go away on its own. Thank God. Yatters thought he could imagine what he died. They have an antidote for exposure to this poison. Yeah, there's probably... Dare I do that? It sounds like that might be a little too clever. Only the Zetan Army would. There's wonder to this gas. If this gas was already being deployed in Kamjok Black. Is that a security measure? Pumping lethal gas? It's something out of that first Resident Evil movie. People lost their minds about that movie, including the fandom, like trying to find a way to put in the video game continuity. Real mental gymnastics. It was quite a thing. It helped me though to read that stuff because, you know, helped me figure out how to explain away my own plot holes or patch them up and so on. Let's see. And of course, it's nice to see that dedicated fans would be willing to shore up any plot if they like the series, you know. Like, ignore plot holes, explain plot holes, you know. Puts less strain on the writer, I guess. Though I treat plot holes like there's something that needs to be removed immediately, you know. Like a cancer discovered in a body, you know. Some stories are riddled with plot holes. And, you know, that's about as good to the narrative as cancer is to the human body. The human body's loaded with cancer. Let's see. I guess the U.S. Army was probably dumb enough to deploy a poison gas around its troops without having some antidote ready to help them. When's the gas coming? Yetter's ass. ETA 5 minutes. The science guy replied. Grand. Here's reply. 5 minutes after that is when you should start pulling back. The science guy added, good to know. Yetter's replied. Okay, on that cheerful note, let's sign off here, folks. Have a nice day.